Good morning. All right. The YouTube side was a little sluggish this morning. Sorry about that. And it says it's waiting for it. 10:05 a.m. That was already. So I don't know. Oh, okay, we're live. YouTube seems to be having some processing issues this morning. Hopefully the stream goes well over there and we don't have to worry about it. Happy Thanksgiving week, everybody. I think I got the music worked out here, so I'm going to put that on for a couple minutes. People get the notifications, then they can come in. Every time I've tried this before now, it has not actually played it. So it has. It's just noise canceled it out because I was playing it over my speakers instead of directly through the deck. So let's try it through the deck and see what happens here. X. It is working. Look at that. This is the song that I've been trying to play for the last couple of weeks. I keep saying that I'm playing it, but nobody's actually heard it except for me. So now you can rock out with me. I was curious. This is Driving Cars onto Mars by Milano. And I got it off of a website called Artlist, which if you want to sign up for, I have a link somewhere that'll give you free something, give me free something. For a friend, you get 2 extra months. I get 2 months. I'm not sure which, but I'll throw that in the show notes if you want to get unlimited music. Pretty cool platform. I don't know that it's worth money. I'll probably try some other platforms this year. I can believe it for almost a full year. I don't know where the hell the year went. Alright, well, that stopped, which means now is a good time to get started. Looks like we got a couple viewers over on YouTube, a couple over on X. Thank you all for joining live. This is an ongoing experiment of mine, and it's interesting because I'm still getting about 200 views across the different platforms for this each week. Less so on the live. While it's live, there's only a handful of you, but I appreciate each and every one of you that are here for the live part of it. If you are listening, later on as a podcast, one of the podcast networks, and you want to ask questions, you can definitely do that on the live. The YouTube stream is probably the best way to do that because I actually have the chat for that open. It's the easiest for me to be able to see through the platform here. And I should probably mute my speaker on this side so you don't hear my Slack, or actually that was Discord, popping up notifications there. All right. Let's jump in and get started. We've got some interesting things to talk about this week, and let's take it from here. Welcome back to Tech for Work, where I discuss the things I found interesting in the tech and business world this week. My name is Jesse Nolan. I'm your host and the founder of tabGeeks. Picking up where we left off last week, SpaceX almost nailed the landing of the massive Starship again, but at some point, or at the last second, they decided not to. Not sure the reason why. There were a bunch of theories floating around pertaining to that. This was designed to really push the parameters and the capabilities of the ship and of the booster and see what it would do, up until the limit and hopefully not exploding, and very possibly exploding. And it turns out it didn't explode, but it didn't land on the chopsticks like it did the first time around, as everybody was hoping, but that's fine. It was actually really interesting to see when they landed it in the water, which is what they do with the ship as well. And what happens is it hovers as if it's going to come down and land on the chopsticks or on the platform, and then after it's done hovering and has proven that it's got that pinpoint landing capability, then they cut the engines and usually it falls over and kablooey explodes. In this case, it did fall over. There was some type of an explosion, burn off, flare off, something, but then it just stayed bobbing there in the water for, I don't know, like an hour, maybe more. It didn't sink, it didn't explode, it was just kind of hanging out, and I imagine they probably recovered it, which is always a major, major win. One of the hardest things about recovering rockets when you're testing and building rockets is they have a tendency, when you're just learning how to do this or testing new hardware, to explode into lots of little tiny pieces. And it's hard to figure out what went wrong unless you find all of those little tiny pieces and try to reconstruct from the wreckage what happened there. And SpaceX has done a phenomenal job at doing that, and it's definitely one of their strengths. But if it doesn't explode, that job gets a whole hell of a lot easier. So they were able to do that with the rocket, and with the ship. They were not trying to land that on land, or even on a floating platform, but they were trying to do a couple of things. They were relighting the Raptor engine, the new Raptor engine, for the first time in space, which they successfully did. So congrats there to that whole team. And then also they were changing out how they tested some of the heat tiles, and they really kind of expected this thing to explode upon reentry, and it didn't. So a whole lot of good data was gathered from that, and it flew and landed out in the Indian Ocean. And thanks to Starlink, we had a wonderful view of the Starship landing, quote unquote landing, because it does the same thing. It comes down and hovers right over the water. They have a buoy out there with Starlink on it, and that's able to show the live stream with a camera on it, obviously, of that coming down, and gives them a ton of data that they can watch as it comes down, how it comes down, etc. And I'm sure it's also transmitting data to the buoy, which is then instantly transmitted to Starlink and or the Starlink that's on the rocket itself. So lots of Starlink, lots of data. Really, really cool experiment, and looking forward to the next flight and the future of the such a large rocket, the world's largest rocket. Continuing on that topic, Starlink, for those of you who have difficulty setting it up, finally has a hotline. It's taken them years, but they have now launched and announced a phone number that you can call, but it's only for those who are having connectivity issues when you're first trying to set it up. So if you got a new Starlink, you went to Best Buy, you went to Home Depot, or you ordered it online, whatever, you are trying to get online, you're trying to set it up, and you're just like, this isn't working, or what am I missing, or something to that effect, you can call the hotline, and they will help you out. That being said, as a business customer with the business dish in the past, I have had continuous ongoing chats on their app, on the support portal, with their representatives. And so you can get support as a business. They reply nearly in real time, and they've been doing that for the last couple of years. So there are options if you are having issues with that. Or you could comment on one of my videos and ask me. I have a lot of experience with Starlink. I've used almost all the different models. I'm going to be filming the Starlink standard dish in the next week or two. Going to install that as a backbone backup for a smart home that relies heavily on the internet and has generators and batteries and so on, but does not necessarily have, want to have just a backup internet line, be it fiber line or cellular, because if you're going for backup, you may as well really go for backup, and space-based is going to be better than, if all the cell networks go offline for whatever reason, some kind of a major earthquake here in California. They want to be able to have that kind of redundancy and be able to, have the ability to stay online even if the whole region is offline, which is pretty cool. And that's also why I own the Starlink Mini, because I want that same resiliency. Last item on space here that I'll bring up, Rocket Lab, which is my other favorite space company. A real, hacker type company. Genius founder, almost kind of like Iron Man, Tony Stark there. Built up out of New Zealand and has been building an amazing company called Rocket Lab over the last, decade or so. And they're in the smaller launch space. So they launch smaller payloads than what SpaceX has been doing. SpaceX originally was in the smaller launch space, but then left as they realized that the real money for them was in the larger launch space with fully reusable. Rocket Lab is still working on nailing the reusable bit. They're reusing some of the parts, but not all of them. And they actually have a facility here in Long Beach, where I live. So Rocket Lab, if you're listening, I would love a tour. Let me come down there and film it and make a video about it and share it with everybody. But they just did a major accomplishment. They nailed the first ever under 24-hour turnaround launch of two different rockets from two different hemispheres, which is just totally awesome and amazing and shows their capability. And I think their stock went up 20%. So, and I have stock in Rocket Lab, so I'm very happy about that. All right, enough about space. Let's talk about Ubiquiti. Ubiquiti this week, to me, it feels like it was weeks ago already, but there was a whole bunch of new announcements, which I'll get to in a moment. But I have been promising you that I would have my power amp review and my device bridge reviews, and hopefully both of those should be going up today or tomorrow. This is in my hand. I'm holding the device bridge, which kind of looks like a radio for the military, in which you would call in air support or something to that effect. But it is a nifty new device that allows you to do PoE, but without having a network cable providing data to the device. Generally, when you have a device like this, you have network coming in on the bottom and it's plugged into wall power. In this case, you just have wall power and it connects to the Wi-Fi. So you need a decent Wi-Fi signal in order to make this work, but it connects to the Wi-Fi in order to get that signal. And then if you have something like a camera or a PoE powered phone that doesn't have Wi-Fi capabilities, etc., you have up top a network cable that goes out, and that's going to provide both PoE and data. It also has the external antenna on top, which is if you want to be able to reach have better range, you are able to use that. This is an indoor device though, so I'm putting it in a outdoor enclosure when I'm using it outside, but I really want them to come out with a waterproof outdoor version of this, so I can just throw it up on a wall, throw the cable in the camera or whatever it is, and then you're online. So that's this. That'll be coming out hopefully later today, and you've already seen me talk about the power amp, so I'm not going to show that right now, but the video came out really, really well. Really great, and I'm very excited to share that with all of you, so hopefully that'll come later on. And before I forget, I'm wearing, it's hard to see because it's covered by my microphone, but I've got my new dark mode shirt, and I was wearing last week, I think, also the what do you call it? The Home Lab University. These are two new shirts from our friends over at Techno Tim, which is another creator, another YouTube channel, which is also Home Lab and Ubiquiti and cool technology. So if you like the dark mode everything, which is how I believe everything should be, everything should have dark mode, or you want his new Creator University sorry, not Creator University, Home Lab University shirt made in your typical Harvard University kind of a shirt style, then I will leave a link to those down below. Forgot to mention that last week, so I wanted to give a shout out there to him for that because I love awesome creator swag. All right, continuing on the Ubiquiti train here, just rolling through the updates. There are 4 new hardware announcements. One of them is the AI Dome, and actually I think I can share my screen here and bring these up. Share screen. This one, yes. Okay, so over in the, camera security, we've got the AI Dome. And this is a massive update to the Dome camera. It brings the full AI capabilities, and it's pricey. It's $499, so it's a real high-powered. It's not meant to be the Ultra lineup, which I think I have over here. Is this the little guy? It's not meant to be one of these little guys. This is probably a bit beefier. I don't have one of these yet, although I am getting the AI turret, which I'll talk about in a moment. But the AI Dome, which is going to be very similar to the turret, is an all-weather vandal-proof 4K dome camera with enhanced AI capabilities and long-range IR vision, as you can see on the screen. 4K is awesome. I love the image quality. It's also a 110-degree viewing angle, which is also amazing because then you can see lots of things outside. 131 feet IR vision, which is great. Advanced AI for facial recognition, face recognition, and license plate LPR recognition as well. And interestingly, something that they brought anew to this lineup is SD card local recording. If you want that kind of high redundancy and you want to make sure that even if your rack goes down but you still have power to the camera, it's able to record locally, or if something happens to your hard drives in your your NVR or the NVR has an issue, the cameras will be able to continue recording locally. I'm going to test all of that. The micro SD card must have at least 64 gig of storage, apparently. But I like that that these cameras can do that, and it should be really interesting to see how that's implemented. I've used some of the cameras from Ubiquiti's competitors that have SSDs on board, so I'm curious to see how this varies. Obviously, it's got security screws in there to make sure that somebody can't just walk up and unplug your SSD card and grab your surveillance footage. That would be weird. But this is pretty cool. It's got a couple of nice mounts for it. So flush mount if you want to pop it in the ceiling, like you see here, or a weather shield if you want better protection from the elements. So if you're on a wall or a pole, you're probably going to have some glare issues instead of just being mounted directly pointing downward. Whereas you may not have so many issues. If you have rain or snow falling on the camera, it may end up blocking the view. So this is a very cool wall mount for that as well. And then you can do a camera dual mount, which this is something that is just, I'm going to end up using this at a bunch of different places because you can get cameras back to back, which is just awesome. So I'm going to have to get my hands on a couple of those and just pop that off. And that'll work with, as you can see in the pictures here, basically all of the other Ubiquiti cameras here. So that looks really cool in black. Again, dark mode everything, just like my shirt. So love it. Looking forward to that. The other one is the AI turret, which I should have in my hands in the next 2 hours or so. It's supposed to be delivered by noon, so keep your eyes on my Twitter profile, X profile, if you want the most up-to-date photos of me playing around with this or videos. I'm not quite doing the unboxing live or anything unless it arrives while I'm recording this show. Maybe I'll run and go and grab it, but I will definitely be doing a video on this. And like I said, I'm very excited to get hands-on and play around with this. The turrets are really cool cameras. This is a little bit bigger, but it is also a bit of a beefier camera. And also the same 4K, 110-degree viewing angle, 131 feet of IR vision, LPR, facial recognition. This has an integrated light, so LED spotlight for color night vision, which I'll be putting to the test. I have a couple of other cameras here that I'm testing with that. The G5, what the hell is it? The PTZ, the G5 PTZ, that also has a spotlight on it. And then I also have the actual spotlight attachment on the AI Pro, I believe it is. And so I'll put those, compare those and their nighttime spotlights and put them all side by side comparison and make sure to have that in my video. This also has the micro SD card support for edge recording with the same 64 gig minimum requirement there. And as I said, I'm going to be playing around with that in order to see how that works. This also is compatible with the camera dual mount, as we saw on the other one. I believe all the cameras are probably going to be compatible with that. So that is this is pretty cool. So a lot of really, really fun, interesting innovations here from Ubiquiti, and thank you to Ubiquiti for sending me these cameras so that I can share them with all of you and review them. Here's a breakdown of the feature set here to give you an idea of the tamper door with the security screws here that houses both the reset button and the SD card slot. So so that nobody can just go in there and steal your SD card. So a bunch of microphones, IR LED, regular LED speakers, light sensor. So all good things here, and looking forward to playing around with that very shortly. Then they also have an AI LPR specific. Now where is this? Scroll down here. These are all on the website and available for purchase right now. By the way, unless they might be sold out down here. The AI LPR, it's not available yet, and the AI port, which we'll get to in a moment. So and not this tab, this one. The AI LPR looks like a combination of a bunch of cameras here. The DSLR, the AI Pro with the vision attachment and all that jazz. Looks like they crammed it all into one amazing device here. It is also 4K, but this one has a 3x optical zoom. It is only 50 feet of IR capture distance. But it is capable of doing high-speed detections at night, which I will be testing. Ubiquiti, please send this to me soon. I have a setup for this on a community center that points at a very busy street with lots of traffic all hours of the day and night, and I will stress test the hell out of this. I want to see what license plates it's going to be able to get from the current positioning on the building, because right now it's not an optimal positioning. it hardly captures any license plates. So if this does better than that, then we'll know that we have a real winner on our hands. But the engineering on this thing looks incredible. Looks like it has a lot of really cool tech built into it. So I will definitely be testing all of that. You can record audio, of course. I wonder if the audio is more superior to some of the other cameras. We'll have to take a look. The fine print here says that the AI LPR is optimized to exclusively capture reflective or non-reflective license plates at night. Install additional cameras to capture the other vehicle details in dark conditions. So I have to test this out. It could be interesting here, and I haven't seen any of the details on this, but I wonder if this is only doing license plates, and then if you want to get the rest, because this is what it's saying at night, additional cameras to capture the other vehicle details. So maybe it's only going to be getting the license plate data and not the actual rest of the video feed, which is what some of their competitors are doing. Take a note here. This is IP66 and IK04 resistance and weatherproofing, or weatherproofing and resistance, respectively, which basically means that it's really, 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 really weather resistant and really, really strong if somebody takes a baseball bat to it. So I'm excited to get my hands on this as soon as Ubiquiti sends me one of these. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to play around with. It takes up, wow, quite a bit of wattage here, 25.5 watts, which is more than I think most of this may be the new, maybe not the new biggest, because I think also the AI PTZ probably uses a crap load of power, but I'm very excited for this camera. This looks amazing. So Ubiquiti, please get this over to me as soon as possible so that I can play around with this thing. It's probably massive, would be my guess. It's probably a beast. Just looking at the pictures of all of these things over here. So, yeah, optimized for recognizing license plates on vehicles moving up to 90 kilometers an hour. So throw this on a highway, see what happens. I don't have a highway that I can throw this on, but if you do, let me know. That would be a very interesting test case. And then the last thing for the new products, physical products, and this isn't available yet. I don't have this yet either, but this is an interesting thing called the AI port. And the point of this is twofold. One, for the unVIF third-party cameras, which they recently started supporting, and a month or two ago, this will give the AI feature set, face and license plate recognition, to those cameras. It also powers those cameras because it's PoE++ input, PoE plus and regular PoE power output, and you can directly connect or pair it with a camera on the network. The other thing that it does is that it also will bring the advanced AI feature set to pre-existing earlier Ubiquiti cameras. So if you have Ubiquiti cameras that are on the lower end that don't have the AI features, you can plug them into this and instantly transform them. Now, it's a $200 device. You could buy some of the AI cameras for $200, but if you don't want to get them down or you just want to easily lift and switch, you can do that just by plugging them into here. So this, hopefully, I'm going to get my hands on in a couple of weeks as well and be able to do a review on it. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing this tab. This is what it looks like. Let's go back to the beginning here. This is the AI port, and yeah, it's a cute little device. Looks to be the same chassis as the, aha. Let's do this live. The AI camera just got here. I'm going to go get it. Okay, I'm back. This is a box. This is the Ubiquiti box, which I have to open down here because I'm pretty sure there's something in here that I can't show you yet. Let's see what we have. Get this open. Got my handy dandy Leatherman arc knife at all times. Come on. Close that there. Make sure you can't see this on camera, because there's definitely something in here I'm not allowed to show you. This I can show you. So this is the new, as I mentioned before, I'll stop stop sharing my screen so that you can see me better. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I just ran to the front door and back again. This is the AI turret. Let me just pull up the details on this again. G5 AI Pro AI. Here it is, AI turret. Make sure I get the details right. Usually, I have a full detailed list of the device when I'm doing an unboxing, but we're doing this live. So, as usual, you have the getting started guide up on the top here. And yeah, I was right. This is a bit of a beefier, quite a bit of a beefier camera. Here's the shell. Let's get this out. Okay, it is in there quite nice. So, pull that out and pull the shell off. That's fine. This is the new camera. This is the new turret, and yeah, it's definitely a beefy boy. Just gonna hold it up. I mean, this is a crazy comparison because this thing is tiny. This is the G5 Dome Ultra, but just to give you an idea of the size difference here, is like itty bitty, teeny tiny little brother to this. I don't have the G5 Turret Ultra around handy, but just to show you here, basically, is that this thing could eat this little Ultra. So let's get rid of that. And yeah, this thing is really solid. It's all metal. It's got the stickers all over the front here, and that's protecting the light. I think it's upside down. The light and the speaker up top, and then you also have, whoops, let's get this sticker off of here, covering the lens, and that's a nice, beautiful wide-angle lens. Yeah, I'm going to take them both off. I'm actually just going to jack it into the rack, and then we can see the beautiful light, the beautiful blue LED that's on it. And then this is the mounting plate and the base station and whatnot. And I'll do a full high-quality review so that you can see all of this. I'm not going to take it all out because I do want to save that for the review, but let me just grab an extra, which I think I have here. Yeah, extra cable, and let's throw it into the rack over here, and plug that guy in like that, and let's see it power up and turn on. And then, of course, in the box you also have your regulatory reading materials and other mounting devices. And for the full review, make sure that you're subscribed and that you comment your questions down below so that I can know what you want to know about this camera. I do have blinky lights on my ether lighting switch over here, so I do know that it's working. And yep, there's the I don't know how well you can see that, but the white LED around the ring there. I'm trying to shadow this with my hand. There we go. Now you can see it. But yeah, this is the thing of beauty. This is a beast. I am looking forward to putting this up and probably ordering a whole mess load of these because this is a really imposing camera. See this staring down at you, especially with the blue LED ring around it and the light flashing in your face, is definitely going to be something very, very cool to let people know that, hey, I am watching you. So I'm going to put that over there and let that do its thing for now. And we can go on to some other topics, but that was fun. We got to do that live, so pretty cool there. A few other things here to talk about on the update side for Ubiquiti. The Protect app is now at version 5.1 and has a couple of updates to it. It has an overhauled alarm manager experience, which is great because there's a lot of alarms and a lot of things that you want to be able to program, and it was kind of a pain before, and now it is significantly improved. So make sure to update your stuff and then go and take a look at that. And then there is also a new sensor manager area of the operating system, or of the app rather, to ready for adoption. Let me just adopt that real quick. Pro Max. Yep, that's this one. And add. Yep, adopt. Okay, it's adopting. Oop. Did you hear that? Okay. What else here was I talking about? Is right, the new sensor manager. So this is an interesting one because the sensors that it shows off in the video are some of the smart home tech sensors, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I think I had one of those around here somewhere. Here we go. This little guy is the smart sensor here. And it can do temperature, and it can do open, close, and it can do motion, I think. These are great. The little UP Sense, and you know, there's actually have a lot of these up at a couple of sites. And this is going to make managing them really easy. The interesting thing about this is that, and I have to, I haven't seen it yet, but the current U7 Wi-Fi 7 access points don't have a Bluetooth radio in them, so they can't interact with the smart sensor. So Ubiquiti still has some more hardware, I guess, to come because they have promised on multiple threads I've seen on Reddit and Facebook that that there are APs coming that do support this, or maybe another device or something. I don't know. I don't have any information about this, advanced knowledge or any of that. I'm just guessing here, but I would imagine that, I mean, they have stated multiple times again and again that they are not giving up on the sensors, and now there's new features for the sensors, so I imagine we're probably going to see something to that effect in the next, I don't know, couple of months, maybe, hopefully, because I do love having the sensors, and I would actually like to see them expand the sensor environment. I also would like them to finally get around to making a thermostat, which would be remotely managed and capable of being run centrally from a data room, and there's a whole argument and conversation about this on Reddit, which I was reading the other day as well. But there's a lot of room to grow here, and as they continue building out the enterprise building ecosystem, I think that they can really make a meaningful impact of being the company to take on all of these annoying maintenance issues. And crazy as it is, bring them all in under IT because IT runs the world and may as well run the building as well. So looking forward to that. That's more like, long term. Again, I don't know anything about that. Full disclosure, they didn't tell me anything about this. I didn't even go to the conference this year, so I don't know if they talked about this at the conference this year or anything. I have no idea. But that is what I would like to see. That would be really cool, and I'm probably going to get flamed in the comments by people saying, no, Ubiquiti should stick to doing switches and network and blah, 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 blah. So whatever. Those people are fun. The last two things here is that the Doorbell Pro, and finally, this has made the Doorbell Pro all of a sudden very, very popular once again. The NFC capability and the biometric fingerprint scanner that has been on it since it launched is actually available now. It works. There are people that are using this with HomeKit and are using this to be able to unlock their doors by biometric fingerprint on the Doorbell Pro, and it works, and it's really, really cool. I haven't played around with it yet, but I do need to put it on there just so that I can, because that's going to be awesome. And I look forward to the day that Ubiquiti does locks more than just the access, but also ties us into the access system so that I can start using my fingerprint to get into my doors, which is just going to be awesome. And then the last thing that I'll say on this is the Apple TV app has been redesigned, and I need to go test that because I love the experience on the Apple TV. I like being able to choose the cameras, and I also, I love the way that it's set up with just using the viewport. But I think that the Apple TV is definitely a option that a lot of people use because they already have them and because they're often set up in the lobbies and whatnot. So to be able to just open up the app and view your cameras and select which one you want to view is great. Plus also for like security desks and things like that, to have the ability to tap in and out of the different cameras is more useful, I think, than just having something static, which you can do both. Totally up to you. But so there's a whole new Apple TV app redesigned. So go and check that out. Okay, so the AI turret has I think I can share this screen. Yeah. The AI turret has, updated and fully connected. And I will share this one. Yeah. You can share the screen, and you can see it's staring up at the rack. So that's my looking upward view of the rack and my ceiling over here. That's not even in HD. Oh, it is HD. Okay, fine. I can talk on it, and I can do all the usual detection highlights and snapshot and fine-tuning, image tuning, etc. And see all the things that it's, what it's connected to and what it's doing and capabilities. So pretty exciting stuff here. I am going to be putting this through the ringer and testing it out and playing all the different things there. Yeah, so cool. Moving on to other topics other than just Ubiquiti, because I've been talking for quite a while on Ubiquiti. Hey, we actually made it to a long show this week. The last couple of ones have been a little slow, or not slow, slim is the word I'm looking for. All right, into the world of Microsoft. Microsoft unveiled a cloud PC that is, quote, called the Windows 365 Link. And the interesting thing about this product is that it's basically a Chromebox. You're live streaming Windows. So for those who aren't familiar, Windows has the ability to live stream Windows from their servers to any device like Chromebooks, other computers, etc. And it's a great use case because you're able to do virtual type stuff where you can have an application running somewhere else, and you can pick up where you left off somewhere else, and you don't have to have high powered equipment with you. You just kind of stream that environment to your local machine. Now they have a dedicated. This is what they've just announced: a dedicated machine here, which is called the Link, to be able to stream its operating system over a network connection directly to this, which is essentially a Chromebox. It even says here in the article that it'll compete with devices including Chromebox machines that connect to Google's Chrome OS. And then Amazon also has, I don't know if you remember the Fire TV. I actually have this controlling one of my TVs at home. The kids love it. It's really cute. Alexa, play, Miss Rachel or one of the, Paw Patrol, or I have little kids. But they can talk to technology, and I love that. But apparently Amazon took that shell and made it into a thin client as well to be able to stream your workspace from the Amazon cloud. So Microsoft is getting in this game, and that's what this is. It's a very interesting little device here. There's no local data storage, no admin privileges for users, and can support only two 4K monitors, 4 USB ports, has an audio port, an Ethernet port, Wi-Fi 6E, and Bluetooth 5.3. It's definitely going to be interesting, and something that I don't know if I'm going to ever get hands on, but I think it's pretty cool. Oh, that's the rest of the blog article talking about it. Okay, from Windows. I'll include, of course, links to this in the show notes down below, but there's some more images of it, of what that looks like, and it's essentially a custom Windows design thin client. So looking forward to that. Looks like it'll be a really solid device for those who are interested in that kind of setup. Continuing on Microsoft is the Salt Typhoon attack that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks here of hacking the major carriers. So, and this is also on GeekWire, T-Mobile, AT&T, etc. All around the election, they were hit with a major breach that gave access to folks to these hackers of the call records, or even the actual recordings of the calls, possibly. And it turns out that Microsoft gets the credit for finding and spotting this attack, or this hack that was hitting all of these telecoms. So well done, Microsoft. New York Times article reports it. I can't go into it because I don't have a New York Times subscription like I normally do with the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal reported last week that T-Mobile was hacked as part of the attack, which I did share that article in last week's show. And in a statement here, T-Mobile said, talking about the folks, the different carriers went to the White House to brief and discuss this attack, and T-Mobile CEO did not go because instead he sent their top cyber leader. So it's interesting. The next piece that I have on that continues on this is that T-Mobile actually, and this is reported by Bloomberg, was able to contain the breach before it hit customer phones and customer data. They're being a little bit mum on the details here, but it's really good to see the fact that they acted quickly and they were able to contain this before it turned into another major breach, given that they have had several major breaches in the last 2 years. So well done, T-Mobile. Clearly been putting a lot of effort into improving that team and improving their systems. So then some interesting news over on the front of undersea cables. I don't know how much you all know about all of this. There's a couple of things going on. One, Google which owns a whole ton of them, as does Facebook, as does Microsoft. Sorry, Meta and Microsoft own undersea cables, and these are the cables that travel under the internet. Travel the internet, allow the internet to travel under the oceans to be able to connect all of our countries around the world and make the internet actually do what it's supposed to do. And I think I talked about this on a previous show. The Verge has a phenomenal report and also a podcast episode, two different things, on how this all works. Essentially, years and years and years ago, they put massive cables underground or undersea to be able to connect countries to each other to form the internet. And over the last decade or a couple decades, that has been maintained and improved, and new cables have been run and connected new areas, and better resiliency to outages and problems. One such problem is that occasionally, some of them on purpose, some of them not on purpose, maybe, probably, hopefully, theoretically, maybe not, you have fishing ships that drag nets or even their anchors on the bottom of the ocean floor and rip these cables. I mean, it's fiber optic often, so if you hit it, then they're not the strongest in the world. They are pretty strong. I actually seen some of the bigger cables are really really massive and solid, but it seems that they've been using thinner ones in the last couple of years. And essentially what happens is these cables get cut or broken. And that's what happened here, is that a Chinese vessel called Yipeng 3 was intercepted and boarded by the Danish Navy after it was caught destroying the undersea cables. And the reason why this is a problem is because it was caught doing it. They saw it happening. Like this this is a actual on purpose attack to the international infrastructure of the internet. And this isn't something that's in theory anymore. This isn't something that we think that they did it. They have these people. They are, it's been intercepted. The ship has been impounded, and the Danish Navy is saying that they went in and on purpose broke the undersea cables, which is not wonderful. So if you're interested in how all that works, I'll leave the link down below to the awesome Verge undersea cable report, where they go really deep into it. I think it was like a month long of reporting on that, and really interesting to understand how this all works around the world and how the internet behind the scenes is kept online. It's a real challenge, definitely, and the next generation of warfare is definitely going to be drones, but it's also going to be controlling the flow of information, and part of that is protecting these undersea cables. So I think we're going to see a lot of development and initiatives for improving this over the next 5 to 10 years for sure. All right, I'm going to take a drink because it's been a while. All right, last up here, save the best for last, Google Workspace Updates. So now, I don't know if you've heard, but Google Drive has a app that is available for Google Chat. So what this essentially does is similar to how you used to have or do have notifications in your email that somebody did something in a Drive document and you were tagged, or there was a question or a reaction for you, you would get a notification. This notification now easily comes to your Google Chat. What's changing here is that Google is rolling it out to everybody. It is now auto-installed for everybody out there, and it allows you to reply or resolve comments in doc sheets and slides. You can choose the appropriate access level. If somebody's asking for access, you can choose which access you want to give them, and you can see when you've been mentioned, as well as you can block a sender. This has been used for spam. I have gotten spam Google Drive invites for both calendar events and Google Drive files to share with things, which is just another version of cold calling or cold emailing. Now it's cold calendar booking. I don't know. It's annoying. Don't do that, please. That would be terrible. It is terrible. I hate it. So you have the ability to mark it as spam, or block or report abuse, so that Google can take action and shut that down, and then you won't be bothered anymore. This is for rapid release and scheduled release domains and extended rollout, potentially longer than 15 days, starting on November 18th. So already started a week ago and expected to be completed by January 15th of 2025, and will be available to everybody. The next up is automatic framing, which is one of the cooler features in Google Meet, where essentially if you're sitting off to the side or down low or whatever, it will center you and then zoom in on your face automatically every time you join the call, which can be very useful. Like right now, I have done that manually through my camera app for live broadcasting and whatnot, so that it only shows you this area and not the wider area of the whole lens. You've been able to do this for a long time. Logitech, their software, has been able to do that with their cameras for a long time. But in Google Meet, they are able to do this through software, and it's really, really pretty cool. And it helps because a lot of people don't care, as I do, or as many others do, about looking good and being framed in the center. And oftentimes people will just have their camera pointing off wherever, and their head is in the frame somewhere, so they think that's fine. And what this will do is just zoom in on that, so it's more centered and much easier to see them and fill the frame, and make that much easier. So big fan of that. This is rolling out, extended rollout for rapid release that started on November 19th, and gradual rollout for scheduled release, which will start next week on December 2nd. So this is available to everybody. You don't have to have the AI add-on or anything like you did before, so that's really nice. A big fan of that moving out. This next one is, whoops, I pasted the wrong link here. Apologies. Let me find the one that I was looking at for you. No, where is it? Here we go. You can finally add multiple multimedia, say that 5 times fast, files to a single message in Google Chat. For the longest time now, when you're uploading a photo or uploading a file, you do one and you have to send it, and then you do another and you have to send it. Now you're going to be able to bulk upload up to 20 different multimedia files. So it could be images, PDFs, videos, etc. And you'll be able to see them all on the shared tab in Google Chat. So thank you, Google, for finally rolling this out. This has been something that I wanted for a very, very long time. This is on rapid release domains on an extended rollout started on November 19th. It will be done by next week, December 3rd. And for scheduled release, it's a 1 to 3 day for feature visibility that will start on December 12th. And this is available to everybody, even the personal account folks. So good stuff there. Custom sections in chat. Back to the Google Chat side of things, or again on the Google Chat side of things, rather. Whoops, put this up here. You're going to be able to create custom sections on the sidebar here. So you can see in this image, or this tab, here we go. So you've got important, direct messages, spaces, apps, etc. I created one called priority. And you're able to drag and drop and put whatever conversations you want in here. I was also thinking another fun way or interesting way that I would be able to use this, or that we all could use this, is if you have different clients like I do as a consultant, that I would have the different chats for those different clients in that area, and that'd be easy to keep track if you've got, these are your most important clients, etc. So pretty cool way to do it, and continuing to organize and better organize the sidebar and your chats and your unreads and so on. This is rolling out, started on November 21st, so that already began, with full completion expected early January 2025. That's for the rapid release, and then the scheduled release is a gradual rollout that will start on January 6th of 2025 and is available also to everyone. And then the last thing that I have here, and then I will let you all get back to your days and weeks, is there's new Asus hardware kits for Google Meet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my hands on this, but I will reach out to the contacts in the channel and see if I can get some demo hardware to make a video about to show this off, because I think that this is a very interesting part of Google Workspace, is this amazing platform of being able to have integration with conference room kits, so that you walk in and you've scheduled the room and you just tap, which is Logitech's version of this, and you are able to then join the meeting automatically and easily, and is really simple for folks that don't want to be dealing with all the configuration and everything. So this is developed with Aver. Not really familiar with that one, so I'll have to look that up. I'm not entirely certain. But this is, as like everything else, manageable in the Google Workspace admin console, and the Meet compute system is slimmer and easier to deploy than the previous versions, and offers a longer device lifespan all the way up until September 2030. So if you are investing in this, you'll have a really solid lifetime on that. The audio for this is the Averphone 540 speaker mic with expansion mics for larger rooms. So that's where Aver comes in. The controller is a Mimo Mist controller, if you're familiar with that. And the camera is also from Aver. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And you can have the smaller version or the larger version for small to medium-sized rooms, etc. Am I showing them my tab? Yes, I am. Cool. This is available for everybody, all Workspace customers, but obviously you have to buy the kit. This isn't just rolling out to folks, so contact your reseller to learn more on that. All right, 48-minute show. I'll be a little bit shorter than that over on the podcast side, because I do trim off the beginning where I'm just kind of vibing out over here to my music, waiting for people to join the stream. But I hope this was a fun show for all of you. It's my first ever ran to get the package and live unboxing, so that was pretty cool. Hopefully I got all the details right, and Ubiquiti isn't mad at me for doing that. But I thought that was fun, so I hope you all enjoyed that as well. Have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating that. And I will, see you next week on Tech for Work.